Welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. It's a live stream. It's the daily live stream. There wasn't a video today because there wasn't a huge amount to talk about, but there is some stuff to talk about on today's show. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a fantastic day. To be honest, my preparation for the stream was actually hampered because I had to go and make a video about this new thing coming out from the Premier League, a shambles. That they're going to show all of the Sunday games, not next season, but the season after, they're going to show all of the Sunday games in the UK. Still won't get the Saturday 3 o'clock games, but they'll show all of the games, and we're meant to be grateful. Even though the rest of the world get all of them, we're meant to be grateful. And I had to make a video about it because it's an absolute shambles. I'll talk about it again in a minute. Ross, Jollypop, Aaron, Vicente, Sam, good to see you all. If you're watching on TikTok and you want to get involved in the YouTube chat, the link is in my bio. Head over and get involved in the chat. Have you been watching the Ashes and seen how rubbish England are doing? Yes, it was a bad morning for England in the Ashes. A bad morning indeed. Way too aggressive. Way too aggressive. But we're not going to talk too much about cricket because I know some people don't enjoy it. I hope you're all well. Let's get into it. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue that rant, by the way, about this ridiculousness that they're going to show all... So it's... Right. It's a small, good step in the right direction that they're going to show all Sunday games in the Premier League on TV for people in the UK. But we still won't see all of the Saturday games, the 3 o'clock games that everyone else in the world sees. We still won't see them. But we're going to see the ones on a Sunday. But instead of doing it in a way where, you know, you could pick the game you want to see, so they show them... Because we've had it previously, right, where they have like 3 2 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday and you can only watch one of them. The other two aren't on TV. Instead of doing it where all 3 of those at 2 o'clock are shown, and you can pick which one you want to watch, no. They don't make enough money if they do that. They don't make enough money. So instead, all of the games are going to be spread out throughout the day. So because we've got 3 teams in the Europa League and a team in the Conference League, and all of those teams play on Thursday nights, so they have to play on a Sunday, those games are going to be staggered 12 p.m, as in midday, 2 p.m, 4:30 and 7. There are going to be 7 p.m. games on Sundays. Now you might think that's not too bad. You're at home, chilling out, winding down, watching a 7 p.m. game. That might be quite nice. If you're a match-going fan, it's an absolute shambles. Imagine you've got to go from, I don't know, right, imagine you're a Newcastle fan and you're playing away at Bournemouth. That's about a 7-hour trip. So after a 7 p.m. game on a Sunday, you get out of the stadium by 10. You've then got a 7-hour journey home. You get home at 5 o'clock on a Monday morning, and you've got to be in work at 7 or 8 or 9. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And we're still way behind everyone else around the world. We're just mugged off. We are relentlessly mugged off by the Premier League and their desperation to make more money. It's an absolute shambles. It's an absolute shambles. What's going on with Rice? No one said anything in ages. There is still no agreement over the structure of the payments. West Ham are holding firm that they want it to be paid over 18 months, which is insane. Arsenal are holding relatively firm that we want to do it over like 4 years. So no Saturday. No, there will still be Saturday games, Aaron. There will still be the normal Saturday games. It's just that there are always 3 or 4 Sunday games now because the Sunday games have to exist for the teams that play in the Europa League because you can't play on a Thursday night and then a Saturday. So there will still be the normal Saturday games, but we won't get the 3 p.m. Saturday. The 3 p.m. blackout that exists in the UK will still exist. It's an absolute shambles. Mystery champions spotted in the TikTok chat. Go on. If you do want a mystery football shirt, check out Mystery Champions. The best, most reliable mystery football shirt boxes in the UK. The sooner Amazon Prime take all the Prime games, the better. Spot on. And I think it will happen eventually. I pray it happens eventually. But the title of the stream and the thumbnail is to do with the Kroenkes. The Kroenkes, however you pronounce it. Are they the good guys? After all of the hatred that we've sent their way, are they actually the good guys? And the reason that I bring this up is this was something that Gunner Blog said today. And it is interesting, and I do think it needs to be spoken about. So, he was talking about the fact that why West Ham need a lot of the money up front. And what you would normally potentially do if you were a football club in this situation would be, if you've agreed a fee with another club for 100 million and you want to spend that 100 million now, but you don't have that 100 million and they're only going to pay it over the course of 4 years, you could take out a loan. You know that 100 million is coming in the next 4 years. You can take out a loan knowing that you'll be able to pay it back. But the reason that they don't want to do that at the moment is because of how high interest rates are. Because the loan that they would take out, they'd have to pay back the interest rates. It would be expensive to do it, so they don't want to do it. But Gunnerblog talked about the case for Arsenal, because we've taken out a big loan to pay for Declan Rice. And he said Arsenal, meanwhile, are in a position where they can borrow directly from someone very close to them. They have borrowed, up until this point, a substantial amount of money into the hundreds of millions from KSE, effectively Stan Kroenke and his business. They can continue to do that, and I suspect in order to get a deal the size of Declan Rice over the line, they will have to do that. But the benefit is that KSE are likely to offer Arsenal, as a sibling company, a pretty favourable rate with fixed terms that will not escalate based on interest. That's my understanding. So basically, Arsenal can take loans from KSE, which is under Stan Kroenke, without the fear of paying the interest on it. So they'll pay a fixed rate of interest, might be 1%, 2%, but it won't go up to 7, 8, 9%, which could happen with interest rates, which is beneficial to Arsenal, obviously. And the general conversation, I guess, around the Kroenkes is the fact that we are spending a lot of money now. And actually, since they took full ownership of the club, they have backed the managers, even before Arteta. The managers were getting backed with the Pepe signing and stuff like that. So they are actually putting a lot of money into the club now, and we're benefiting from it. And I feel like I feel like they still have a long way to go to regain the trust after everything that happened with the Super League. But actually, from what they said after the Super League saga, that Josh was really going to take over, they were going to listen to the fans, they were going to invest in the club, you have to argue that they have done all of that so far. And so, whilst they might not be in my good books completely, you look at other ownerships, like the Glazers, and you kind of think it could be a lot worse. T-Bay says, Caicedo or Rice? Caicedo or Rice? Rice, for me. And I said this before the window even opened, before we were going to get Rice, when it was still possible that we would get both or just one of them. Rice was just about my favourite at that point. Do you think Arsenal will go for a big but unexpected move near the end of the window, like a Gio Reyna or a Simons? Yeah, I think a Xavi Simons, Arda Güler. I can see us going for one of those, but they won't be big moves, I don't think, in terms of the cost of them. I don't think they'll be big moves. KSE are the most successful sports ownership group in the world at the moment. They are. Arsenal are effectively the only club, I believe now, under Stan Kroenke that hasn't won a title. So it is Arsenal's turn to do it. I completely forgot to tweet that I'm live. So I'm just going to tweet that I'm live. Bear with me a second. But yeah, no, I think I'm relatively positive about the future of the Kroenkes. And the way that they're investing in the club. I'm also very happy with how interested Josh Kroenke is. Truthfully, Josh Kroenke is very close to the club. He's very involved. He's backing Arteta, and I rate that. So, look, is it the same as being backed by a state? No. But in a sense, I quite like the fact that we're not backed by a state, because we don't have everything that comes with being backed by a state. Güler is going to Barcelona. The thing I read this afternoon was that Arsenal have overtaken Newcastle in the race for Arda Güler. No billionaire will be morally fit for a club, as they look at a business needs first, but they're definitely smart businessmen, and I'm happy with them, but things can improve still. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty spot on, Ross. Things can definitely improve, and you always worry that the Super League mistake is in them again. that at some point, if an opportunity for them to benefit massively financially is there and it isn't in the best interests of the club, they might take it. But they are redeeming themselves for that. Would you take Frankie de Jong later seasons? I would, yeah. I'd take Frankie de Jong now. I'd take him next season. He's an excellent midfielder, so I would take him. Ethan Nwaneri. Obviously, we said yesterday it was basically done. Confirmation, the here we go from Fabrizio Romano today. Ethan Nwaneri has signed a scholarship deal at Arsenal, then agreed a first pro deal to be signed when he turns 17. It's done. Exclusive news confirmed. Contract will be valid for 2.6 years. It's the highest salary offer made by Arsenal for an academy player. Here we go. So very good news. Nwaneri is done. There was also I saw a thing, and I can't remember what the source was. So I don't think it was a great... I don't know what the source was, basically. But it claimed that Chelsea had offered Nwaneri 45 grand a week when he turned 17. 45 grand a week for a 17-year-old that's played half a game of football in the Premier League as a senior player. That's insane. And the fact that we managed to fight off that, and the fact that Nwaneri turned that down to stay at Arsenal is massive. Because 45 grand a week is... for an academy player, wild. I think the Super League is now done as the Saudis are working to try and join UEFA competitions in the coming years. Yeah, I think that's the next thing. I think I said it on a TikTok that the play for the Saudis, I think, is not to try and create their own league that in the end dominates all of Europe and the Premier League. I think it's to get themselves into a position where they can leverage the players that they have to get themselves into UEFA competitions. Where would you play Havertz and Timber? So I think Havertz is coming in as the 8 predominantly, as an attacking 8 in the Granit Xhaka role. Timber is an interesting one. I think he'll end up... The thing is, right, I don't think he can compete with Saliba for the right centre-back spot, even though he almost exclusively played at right centre-back last season. Damn, you never got to add any videos to the Xhaka getting sent off playlist on TikTok. I know. But yeah, I think Timber ultimately will end up playing as a right back that inverts, same way Partey did in the last couple of games of the season, and it'll be in games where instead of I think it'll be rare that we see Timber and Zinchenko, but I think there will be some games where it's Zinchenko and White, and then it'll be some games where it's Timber and Kivior or Tierney. With the signings we got, is there any outgoings or update on Balogun? No, there's well, Balogun Balogun tweeted this morning. Following Balogun tweeted this morning. Let me bring it up. It was a bit cryptic. He tweeted, "It is time," with one of those sand timer emojis. So I don't know what that means. Nwaneri will get 50k min at Arsenal when he's 17, 18. Not when he's 17. Maybe when he turns 18. He'll get a new deal on maybe 50k, but he'll have had to have played for the senior team at that point, I think. Yeah, so I don't know what it is time. I don't know what Balogun means by that. It's very cryptic. I mean, look, there's gonna have to be movement soon, right? We're gonna have to start selling players. We've seen that Eddie Nketiah is available to be sold potentially. But there's no movement yet. Do you think we need a natural 8, excluding Rice, in case Havertz and Smith Rowe don't work there? If neither Havertz or Smith Rowe are working in the 8 role, I think what you'll see is that it does become Rice, and that you bring Partey or Jorginho in as the 6. I think that's probably the case. Probably not. Saka wasn't on that kind of money. True, but I don't think Saka was at that level at that age. But 50k would be a lot. If Saudi join European competitions, does it bring down the speciality of the comps? For some people it will. For me, I don't think it does. Realistically, you look at some of the teams that are in the Champions League year on year. You look at some of the teams that are in it. I don't care about them. And I'm trying to think of an example. Istanbul Başakşehir or whoever it is, or Ludogorets Razgrad, or I don't know, any of those sorts of teams, right? What's the other one? The one from Azerbaijan or whoever it is. To me, it doesn't make a real jot of difference whether they're in the Champions League or whether a team in Saudi. As long as the quality is there, the players are there, it doesn't... I don't really care about it being confined just to Europe. The reason it was predominantly confined to Europe was because the best football was in Europe. I don't really... Some people will have an issue with it. Yeah, Karabag. What difference does it make if it's Al Hilal or Karabag? To me, it makes no difference. And if Al Hilal are better than Karabag, bring them in. But I think what we will see is, well, we're already seeing it. The Club World Cup that starts in 2025. We'll start seeing a shift to, instead of it being UEFA, it's global. And why should the best club football tournaments be confined to Europe? If there are clubs beyond Europe that are good enough to compete in it, why not? Why not? I don't have an issue with it. Can't really call it European. No, you can call it global. You know, if there's anything better than a European Cup, it's a global cup. I don't know. It's not something that particularly bothers me. And I think it's inevitable. You can't really look past what Saudi Arabia have done in golf with Live Golf. I think it just shows that once they're in, they're in. Isn't that what the Club World Cup is for? Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what the Club World Cup's for. It's like the Super League all over again. I mean, kind of. To be honest, the only real issue I had with the Super League was the idea that effectively all of the top teams would just be guaranteed in it forever, regardless of how they played. As long as you avoid that, like that was the significant issue with the Super League for me, was that, for example, next season, Spurs would be in a Super League, even though they finished 8th. Chelsea would be in a Super League, even though they finished 12th. That was the only massive problem I had with the Super League. As long as you can always avoid that, I don't think it's a problem. But the Club World Cup, that's the problem with the Club World Cup. Because I don't think, unless Arsenal win the Premier League and the Champions League next season, we're not in the Club World Cup in 2025. How many signings do you reckon we'll make this window? Well, if you say we've effectively made 3 already, with Rice, Havertz and Timber, I think you probably end up on 5. I think we probably end up on 5, which would be huge. And if 3 or 4 of them can go on the pre-season as well, that's a massive bonus. An interesting dynamic for a mentorship to Nwaneri will be Ødegaard. Who better to talk to a young prodigy about the pitfalls of being a young prodigy? Yeah, I agree. I do. What about Trossard this year? I think Trossard's a good backup. I think he's a good backup to Martinelli. I think he's a good backup to Jesus. I think it will be the same as last season, though. I don't think he'll start very often. Do you think we'll sign another centre mid such as Lavia or Caicedo? Yeah, I think Lavia. I do think we'll sign Lavia. Nuno to West Ham was a rumour. Yeah, Nuno Tavares to West Ham yesterday. I think we should give them the absolute runaround. Given what they're trying to do with Declan Rice, I tweeted it. If they want Nuno Tavares, 50 million quid in cash up front. David Sullivan has to hand it over in person at London Colney. There you go. Deal done. They want to play silly beggars, so can we. Rory and Timber is basically done. It came out last night, and the fee is unbelievable for Rory and Timber. It came out last night. Ben Jacobs reported again this morning. The total package, just over 40 million. It basically breaks down to 36 million plus 4 million in add-ons. That's unreal. That is unreal. Sevilla faces debts of 90 million and declared that the entire squad is on the market. Incredible, could get some steals. Who's at Sevilla that you'd want now? It would be my only question. There's genuinely, I'm struggling to think of a Sevilla player that even gets on the Arsenal bench with what we're building. Would you sell Jorginho? Some people on Twitter are saying sell him. No, I think you keep Jorginho. Good experience. Good, how many players? We're in the Champions League next season. If we progress to the later stages of the Champions League, how many current Arsenal players have gone deep in a Champions League? None. Other than Jorginho. Maybe Thomas Partey at some point. When's his medical? Timber's medical is on the way. If we don't let Partey leave, then wouldn't it be prudent to get Gabri Veiga instead of Lavia? He's more of a number 8, and his name is Gabriel. I mean, it would be great to have another Gabriel. And Vega would be a great center. My only thing with that is that I think if we get Lavia, then that means that Rice is the 8, the Granit Xhaka role, which is what I want. So, yeah, I don't know. Who would you say are the other 2 signings other than the 3 we have? Lavia or someone like Lavia, and then someone like Arda Güler or Xavi Simons. Someone that's cheaper, a bit younger, that we can develop in an attacking role, I think will be the ones. Having Partey, Rice and Jorginho as our midfield options next season would be superb. Yeah, it would. It would. I think Arsenal signed Zubimendi. Yeah, it's interesting. All of the kind of links to Zubimendi died out. 45 million release clause, yeah. It all kind of died out. Haven't heard anything on Zubimendi in a while now. Do you think no chance of us signing Caicedo now? I think it'd be very difficult. 85 million Brighton want. And we'd be going head-to-head again with Chelsea, who have just raised a ton of money with Mount and Havertz. No way Lavia at 6. He can't win a header. I don't think that's that important. We play with such a high line, and we're so condensed. William Saliba wins most of those headers. Thomas Partey doesn't win that many headers. Jorginho, when he's playing the 6, doesn't win that many headers. I don't think it's a problem for Lavia, really. James, hi Rory, new sub. Seeing how Inter are now being messed around by Al Nassr for Brozovic, would you consider him a good addition if we do sell Partey and Xhaka? So the interesting thing with Brozovic and Al Nassr is that if they don't get Brozovic, they're going to turn their attention to Thomas Partey. That was, I can't remember who said it today, but a legitimate journalist said it today, that if Al Nassr don't get Brozovic, they're going to turn their attention to Partey, which could be good for us, although Partey doesn't want to go to Saudi, so it's a bit difficult. Chelsea, a lot of money just to spend on debt. Yeah, they do have to pay a lot of debt off. Who's your ideal Saka backup if we would sign a right wing? It would be Moussa Diaby, but he's too expensive this window, I think. Considering everything else we've done, I don't think we'd get him this window. Do you think Marquinhos should be sent on loan to a Portuguese/Spanish club? Yeah. No. I think he should stay in England. Either at a Championship club or a Premier League club. Timber's only fault is that he never wins headers, so thank God West Brom and Stoke aren't in the Prem. Yeah. Well, he's relatively short for a centre-back. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path, apart from Arsenal, and you have to guess who it is. Ross Lawman was the winner yesterday. He carries the prize. Who will be the winner today? If you're in the TikTok chat, head over to the YouTube channel. Link is in my bio. Get involved in the chat for the game of Guess the Gooner. Who's it going to be? Now, I have a weird feeling that I might have done this one in a previous live stream a while ago, but I can't remember if I did. So we're doing it anyway. And if you were back in those live streams and you remember it from those live streams, then fair play to you because you're a legend for being back in those live streams. Anyway, this player, ex or current Arsenal player, started at Marseille. They went to Man City, Sevilla on loan, Antalyaspor, West Ham, and Anderlecht. Marseille, Man City, Sevilla on loan, Antalyaspor, West Ham, Anderlecht. And it is James Souza, the new subscriber, James Souza, on his first day, has got it. It is indeed, we'll bring him up on screen, Samir Nasri. It's Samir Nasri. Lots of people getting it correct on TikTok as well. Well done. It's Samir Nasri. James Souza, welcome. You belong on this channel. You have demonstrated exemplary Arsenal knowledge on your first occasion. We had Jake Madaford came second, Jolly Pop came third, Ross Lawman came fourth, and SS9 came fifth. Congratulations to James Souza. Well done. And now we have a Guess the Non-Gooner, and I promise you, this Guess the Non-Gooner is very, very difficult. And if you get it, fair play to you, because I think it's very difficult. So this is a player that has never played for Arsenal. I'll give you their full career path. You have to guess who it is. So, this player started at W Connection. He went to Southampton. He went to Sheffield Wednesday on loan. He went to Stoke City on loan. He then went to Sunderland. He then went to Stoke. He then went to Cardiff. He then went to Bournemouth on loan. He then went to Al Jazeera on loan. He then went to Atlanta. He then went to Central FC on loan. And then he went to Kansas City. This is a brutal one. I'll start that again. So he started at W Connection. He went to Southampton. Sheffield Wednesday on loan. Stoke City on loan. Sunderland permanently. Stoke City permanently. Cardiff permanently. Bournemouth on loan. Al Jazeera on loan. Atlanta. Central FC. Kansas City. We've got what? Someone got it. Someone got... Anubrata Balmic has got it. Fair play to you, sir. Anubrata has got it. Kenwyne Jones. What a throwback. What a throwback that is. Kenwyne Jones. Darren Bent was not a bad option, but it was Kenwyne Jones. Nathan got it as well. Nathan came second. SS9 came third. Kenwyne Jones. Alex says, who the hell is that? Aaron Bannister says, who? Apologies for the sirens. He did go to a lot of places. But yeah, Kenwyne Jones. Do you know what? I was reminded, I saw on Twitter there was a tweet that was like, who have the streets genuinely forgotten? And looking at the chats, I would say that the streets had genuinely forgotten Kenwyne Jones. Who'd up? Here's that guy. He's a legend. If you don't know Kenwyne Jones, get to know Kenwyne Jones. Have a good gander on YouTube tonight for Kenwyne Jones. What a player. What a player. I mean, for context, he was at Sunderland in 2007, Stoke in 2010. That was his best era. That was his best era in the Premier League. Should have got that earlier as a Cardiff fan. You should. You should. Him and Ricardo Fuller had a partnership. I was going to say decent partnership, but no, quite decent. Yeah. What a legend. What a legend. If you were watching on TikTok then and you ever want to get involved, like I said, link is in my bio on TikTok to the YouTube channel. Get over there, subscribe, get involved in the YouTube chat. But congratulations to James Sousa and Anubrata Balmic for the wins today. Jones tormented Arsenal PTSD. Yeah, it was just another one of those massive strikers that would bully us because we went through that period of not having big physical centre-backs. He was a poor man's Didier Drogba. Tony Pulis days, goddamn, I hated those away trips. Stoke away under Tony Pulis, Bolton away under Sam Allardyce. They were rough times. The Newcastle duo was sick with Barr and Diop. No, it was Demba Ba and Papi Cisse, wasn't it? Scolacci versus Jones. Don't. Lee Gunner called you out on Insta. I'll get over it. I will get over it. Ryan Shawcross. Yeah. Birmingham City. Yeah, Birmingham. The League Cup final. The League Cup final against Birmingham. Awful. Start, bench, sell, Bellingham, De Bruyne, Xhaka. Right. I would start Kevin De Bruyne. I would sell Bellingham because you'd get more for Bellingham than any of the others. And I would bench Granit Xhaka. That is what I would do. I would start De Bruyne, I would sell Jude Bellingham, and I would bench Granit Xhaka. Are you going to the Emirates Cup? Yes, I should be. Jones played us 8. He lost 6, drew 1 and 1-1, scoring once. Well, fair play. It just feels like it was worse than that. Wenger versus Sir Alex Ferguson. The glory days. What else did I want to talk about today? There was something else on my mind. Oh yeah, Mount. So Mason Mount Mason Mount to Man United, in the end, is probably going to cost almost exactly the same as Kai Havertz to Arsenal, depending on the add-ons that they accrue. Because Mount is more upfront and less in add-ons, and Kai Havertz is less upfront but more in add-ons. Which of those is the better signing? Which is the better value for money signing? Mason Mount or Kai Havertz? No, Kroenke just signed with me target. He can't be good just yet. It's more about the way that the Kroenkes are investing at the moment. So Ross Lawman says Havertz. Is Zinchenko unlikely to play in the Community Shield because of the Ukraine friendly? Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, to be fair, Jake. Vincer says Mount. Lots of people on TikTok are saying Mount. I think it's tricky. Because on one hand, you've got to say that the fact that Mount only had 1 year left means technically he should go for cheaper. Mount's add-ons are United have to win the league 2 years in a row. Surely not. If we're completely honest, they're both overpriced a little, but Havertz is better value. I think that's probably fair. Are the Tchouaméni rumours true? Absolutely not. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. I'm not going to put my hair on it, but if I was, I'd put my hair on the fact that Tchouaméni doesn't come to Arsenal. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Mount will work better in Ten Hag's system, in my opinion. The only thing I don't know is where Mount's going to play. Is he going to play in that Christian Eriksen role? And if he is, does he not have similar flaws to Christian Eriksen in terms of playing that role? That would be my fear. Man aired me. What did you say, eh? I don't know what you said. But yeah, that would be my fear. That would be my fear for Mason Mount. Is that he's not going to play in unless they change the formation. I guess they could push up. I guess it will be Casemiro and then Bruno and Mount. But one of Bruno and Mount has to be able to do more defensive work. Do you think we'd sign anyone else after Lavia and Timber? Yeah, Ibrahim, I think we'll sign one more. Like I've said, Arda Güler, Xavi Simons, someone that's young, relatively cheap, developmental, probably attacking, I think will be what we do. Do I have any tips to get tickets? If so, tell me please. Not really. I mean, this season it's going to be a ballot, so you've just got to enter the ballot and hope. Oh, that was what I wanted to say. So I got an email today, right? So I've been on the season ticket waiting list now, I think, for 8 years. And during that 8 years, I'd usually jump up the queue about 10,000 spots every year. So I started at about 120,000, and I'm now about 40,000th, right? So every year I'd jump up about 10,000 spots. This year, got an email, due to high demand and due to a high renewal rate of season tickets, your place in the queue hasn't moved. An entire season, and I am still exactly where I was in the season ticket queue as I was at the start of last season. I'm never going to get one. I'll be dead before I get a season ticket. It's insane. I'm at 44k. I think I'm at 44k as well. So we'll get one at the same time. But it's just, I'm never going to get one. I'm never going to get one. And it's so painful trying to get tickets as a Red member. And God knows how painful it's going to be this season. I'm 92k, bro. How do you think I feel? Yeah, give up. Give up. Ross Lawman's at 41k. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's painful. It is genuinely painful. Someone on TikTok says he's 92k. Northampton Town fan. What league are Northampton Town in? 2. Aubameyang or Jesus? Right now, Jesus. If you're in their prime, I mean, they're slightly different players. Aubameyang in his pomp was unbelievable for us. Start, bench, sell, Enzo, Ødegaard, Fernandes. Start Ødegaard, bench, Enzo, sell Fernandes. I can't stand Bruno Fernandes. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I couldn't support him. I couldn't support Bruno Fernandes. I just find him too embarrassing. So I'd have to sell him. My thought process was get a club level ticket for a year and try and blag into skipping the list. I don't know if that works. Not signing a striker will cost us in the UCL, I'm telling you. I don't think it will. We don't need a striker. We scored more goals last season than we've scored in any Premier League campaign ever before. How do you enter the ballot? I'm not actually sure. It opens this weekend. No, it opens next weekend for red members. It opened today. The ballot opened today for silver members, I think. Because you don't have a season ticket, do you pay a lot for matchday tickets? Yeah, I do, yeah. So last season, I went to every home game. And I think it cost me about £2,500. Whereas the season ticket would have been like 1,500 quid. So it's quite a lot extra. With Tierney and Tavares potentially leaving, do you think we need a backup left back, especially with Zinchenko's injury record? No. No. Because if you think about it, right, even if Tierney and Tavares leave, that still leaves us with Zinchenko, Tomiyasu and Kivior that can all play left back. So I think what you would see is that, say Zinchenko's injured, you put Kivior at left back, you put Timber as the right back, and then Timber's the one that inverts. I think that's what you'd see. So I don't think it would be a massive problem if Tierney and Tavares both left. Did you enter the ballot? Only just joined. For some reason, it let me enter Junior Gunner and Silver membership, even though my membership is Junior Gunner. Yeah, so Zelda, if your membership's Junior Gunner, you can enter the Junior Gunner and Silver one. I think that's how it works. I'm a red member, so I can't. My season ticket last year was $960, so there you go, yeah, under £1,000. And cost me $2,500. But that's the thing. That, like, $2,500 is not that much less than if I got a club level season ticket. KT isn't leaving for less than 50. KT could leave for like 35, I reckon. I think KT could leave for 35. That wouldn't surprise me at all. News on Pepe? There's nothing on Pepe at the moment. This is the thing, right? So far, 10 out of 10 window. It genuinely has been a 10 out of 10 window so far. The next step is selling. The next step is selling players. We need to make back probably 80 to 100 million pounds worth of players in sales this summer. So that is the next challenge. Hopefully introducing Timber, we'll see Tierney get more game time. Think Tierney would be a better than Kivior at left centre back. Is TikTok, YouTube your main source of income? It is at the moment. So, but up until a couple of months ago, I was doing a full-time job. At the moment, I'm doing this, and I do some freelance work, and it all kind of just adds up. Mate, I'm coming for a week. I just want to buy one ticket. Where do I buy it from for the matchday ones? So this is the issue with the ballot, is that you just have to enter the ballot and hope that you get one, and there's no guarantee. And if you don't, then you've just got to use the ticket exchange. But again, there's no guarantee. Start, bench, sell, Haaland, Jesus, Vlahovic. Start Haaland, bench Jesus, sell Vlahovic. I think we could sign Caicedo. I don't see us signing Caicedo personally. I just don't. If we go head to head with Chelsea, having just spent 105 million on Declan Rice, I just can't see us doing it. I can't. It would be unbelievable if we did, but I just can't see us doing it, unfortunately. As sad as that is. Is it first come, first serve for ballot, or is it complete RNG? Complete luck. So everyone enters the ballot, and complete luck of the draw, you either get a ticket or you don't. And the ticket you get... Oh! Right, so, if you get a ticket in the ballot, they take your money instantly. So they don't even say, you've got this ticket in the ballot, do you want to buy it? And like, if you don't want to buy it, they'll give it to someone else. They take the money instantly, and there's no way of selecting what tariff you want to be in. So basically, you could get 100. Like, let's say you would normally only buy an Arsenal ticket if you could get one for under 50 quid. And if it went, and if the only tickets available were over 50 quid, you wouldn't do it, right? Because you just don't have the financial ability, which is a situation a lot of people are in. The way the ballot will work is that if you get drawn a ticket from the ballot that's 120 quid, they'll take the 120 quid instantly, without even asking if you want it at that price. That is crazy. And I think it will mean that a lot of people don't even enter the ballots because they don't want that to happen. How come you're able to go to every home game if individual tickets are so hard to get? I'm thinking about applying for a season ticket. So I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on the ticket exchange. So if a season ticket holder can't go to a game, they put their ticket on the ticket exchange and then another person can buy it. And literally for some games last season, in the week building up to the game, I'd spend 4, 5, 6 hours every single evening refreshing the page, trying to get one. It took a lot of time and a lot of money to get to every game last season. It was worth it, but it was difficult. If you're thinking about applying for a season ticket, I joined the list 8 years ago and I'm still 40,000 away. So would that do the same for club level, as they're always the last to go? Well, I don't know about club level. That's the only one I don't know about. But either way, it's just not a great system, to be honest. I thought there was a 24-hour purchase window. What, from the ballot? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. My understanding was that you just got the ticket and it took the money straight away. Honestly, the likes of Smith Rowe and Nelson are players I want to see get more game time. If they improve, it really adds depth in the attack. I think they will get more game time. Actually, that reminds me. So the latest on Reece Nelson, because effectively, Reece Nelson is a free agent tomorrow. Same as Wilfred Zaha, same as David De Gea. They all become free agents tomorrow. But the latest on Reece Nelson, this come from who did it come from? Where was it? Let me find it. Ryan Taylor Sport. Arsenal have an agreement in place with Reece Nelson for a new 4-year contract with the option for a further year. Nelson's currently in Tenerife, but the contract extension should be confirmed within the next week. And then Charles Watt said, final day of Reece Nelson's contract today. New 4-year deal has been agreed, not yet signed. Nelson's been away. Arsenal still very confident it will be, despite the likes of Milan pushing hard for Nelson in the past few months. So apparently AC Milan have really been going for Reece Nelson, but he is going to stay. What will happen with Smith Rowe if he's being taught the 8 role? I can't see Arteta starting him ahead of Havertz or Rice. I don't think Smith Rowe will be a starting player at the start of next season. The fact is, right, if you want to compete with City and you want to be like City, you have to have very good players that are willing to be on the bench. Like, that's just the way it is. You have to have players like Smith Rowe that are willing to be on the bench. Because otherwise you can't compete, because you don't have the squad depth. And ultimately, you can end up seeing players leave the club because they don't want to be like that. But if you look at, if you look at the players that Man City have on their bench, all of those players pretty much walk into any other Premier League side. They have to be willing to sit on the bench. It's just the way it is. That's what you've got to do to compete. If we looked at signing Calvin Phillips, everyone would be like, well, where's he going to play? Where's he going to start? Who are we going to drop? Because he has to start. Whereas at Man City, they spend 50 million on him and bench him for the whole season. That's just how it is. How do you even get a silver membership? So I think to get a silver membership, you had to have been a junior gunner. That's my understanding of it. It's not like you can just pay extra to be a silver member. Otherwise, I'd have done so. Just seeing glimpses of Nelson last season shows the potential is there. It's just games he's lacking. Yeah, I agree. He also has to show that he can perform at that level consistently and not just when he comes off the bench. But getting Rice over Treble City, getting Timber over Bayern, buying our rivals' top scorer, having our youngest reject better wages at other clubs, we're back. We are back. We are back and we are big. And we love to see it. Do you know when the first game of the season is going to be open for purchase on the... Yes, next... So if you're a Red member, next Friday, I think it is. Maybe next... Yeah, I think it's next Friday. It's next Friday. Because I'm away. I'm in Romania. But yeah, next Friday. For the Nottingham Forest game. I missed the stream today. Any big news? Not massively, Devin. We spoke a bit about the Kroenkes and the investment and the loans that we're getting from KSE. Nwaneri's definitely signed his contract. We got the here we go from Fabrizio and Havertz and Timber. 36 million plus 4 million in add-ons. Thoughts on Szoboszlai? Great signing for Liverpool. Assuming that he goes to Liverpool, Szoboszlai is a fantastic signing for them. August is always your best bet with ticket exchange, as there will be people on holiday. Yeah. I was a junior gunner. I guess I missed my chance then of a silver. I don't know. Look into it. Look into it. I don't know if now you've become a red member you can't go to being a silver, but I'm not really sure how it works. I'm not really sure how it works. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the stream. I massively appreciate all of you turning up, as always. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you've not subscribed already, it massively does help me out. Smash a like on it as well. But have a good evening. I'll be back tomorrow, as always, 5 p.m. Cheers. Da, 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 da.